This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Amanda Stevens, coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Tuesday, July 15th. Taiwan's urban resilience air defense drills to last through Friday. President urges cooperation. Taiwan-Paraguay relationship rock solid, says the Paraguayan president. And Guatemala Congress president visits Taiwan, while Foreign Ministry praises their support. But first, today's top story. The 2025 Urban Resilience Air Defense Exercise, formerly known as the Wan'an or Min'an Defense Drills, is being held from Tuesday to Friday across Taiwan as an integrated part of this year's Hangguang military exercises. Affected areas will include central Taiwan on Tuesday, southern Taiwan on Wednesday, northern Taiwan on Thursday, and eastern Taiwan and the outlying islands on Friday, according to the Defense Ministry. President Lai Ching-te has urged the public to cooperate and offer their support, promising that this year's drills will be even more effective than last year's. Lai reminded the public to stay away from windows and balconies and to evacuate to basements in an orderly fashion upon receiving an alert message or hearing air raid sirens. He also asked the public not only to follow instructions from police and civil defense officials, but also to give their full support. This year's inclusive Hangguang 41 exercises have received international recognition, with the European Economic and Trade Office, or EEAS, and the Finland Trade Center in Taiwan emphasizing the need for preparedness at all levels of society. Both the EEAS and the Finnish office posted messages of support and their own disaster preparedness guidelines on their Facebook pages. The EEAS noted that preparedness is rooted in social structure, stating that everyone bears responsibility in today's world of constantly evolving threats. The Finland Trade Office also emphasized that Finland strongly supports individuals taking responsibility for their own safety, adding that civil preparedness underpins a society's resilience. The Hangguang 41 exercises officially began on July 9th and will continue through Friday, July 18th. Taiwan's Foreign Minister Lin Jialong is leading a delegation on a visit to Paraguay. He shared details of his meetings with the Paraguayan president Santiago Peña on a Facebook post. Lin stated that Peña told him that the friendship between Taiwan and Paraguay is rock solid and will not yield to external threats or pressure. Peña also expressed that Paraguay hopes to learn from Taiwan and to promote mutual development. He said that Taiwan and Paraguay share common values, as well as similarities in historical development and geography. He further noted that both countries are less advantaged compared to their neighboring nations, and that their challenging environments have made them more resilient and competitive. Peña added that protecting Taiwan is equivalent to protecting Paraguay. Reuters reported on Tuesday that President Lai Ching-te is expecting to visit Paraguay in August. In response, the Foreign Ministry stated that, as of now, there are no plans for the president to undertake any overseas visits. Foreign Ministry Public Diplomacy Coordination Council Deputy Director General Chen Yijin said,
"In fact, the invitation extended to President Lai by our diplomatic allies highlights the close and friendly ties between our countries. Organizing overseas visits for high-ranking officials has always been a key responsibility of the Foreign Ministry."
Presidential Office spokesperson Karen Guo added that the public will be duly informed should any arrangements be made in the future. Guatemala's president of the Congress, Nydia Abilio Ramos y Ramos, arrived in Taiwan on Monday, leading a cross-party parliamentary delegation. This marks the second consecutive year that Ramos has headed a visit to Taiwan, showing Guatemala's support. The Foreign Ministry on Tuesday thanked Guatemala for its continuous support for Taiwan's participation in the World Health Assembly and for supporting Taiwan by opposing China's misinterpretation of UN General Assembly Resolution 2758. The Foreign Ministry says that the delegation will meet with President Lai Ching-te and Foreign Minister Lin Jialong and visit the legislature, Mainland Affairs Council, and Hsinchu Science Park. The delegation will also visit cultural sites, including the National Palace Museum, Longshan Temple, Eland Park of NCFTA, and experience Taiwan's night markets. The ministry says that Taiwan and Guatemala share a strong relationship, with frequent high-level government and parliamentary exchanges. Both sides are looking to continue to deepen exchanges in key areas such as semiconductors, public health, infrastructure, and talent development. The ministry hopes the two countries can continue working together to improve the lives of the people in both countries. In the face of rapid changes in the global asset market, Taiwan is planning to establish the Asian Asset Management Center with its first base in Kaohsiung. Premier Zhou Rongtai stated that Taiwan aims to become Asia's financial hub at an asset management forum in Kaohsiung on Tuesday. Zhou noted that while Taiwan is a global leader in the semiconductor and high-tech industries, it must now focus on developing an international financial services system. He said that the establishment of the center will not only boost the finance industry, but also serve as a key project to enhance the country's overall competitiveness. Zhou emphasized Taiwan's strength in freedom, democracy, and high-tech innovation, saying,
We look forward to Taiwan truly becoming a major global hub with the capacity to manage international assets. We believe we can replace Hong Kong and Singapore. We have the freedom and democracy that Hong Kong no longer has, and we have the high-tech industry and strong financial system that Singapore lacks, along with our own financial infrastructure and assets. That's why we not only have the ability to become a key player in Asia, but also the ambition to make Taiwan an important part of the global financial landscape.
Zhou added that the Taiwanese government will also ease regulations, expand market instruments, and strengthen the financial services system to retain capital in Taiwan and attract more international assets. Athletes and coaches in Taiwan use a variety of methods to track performance, but is the frequency too high for some?
With fast and flexible moves, these taekwondo athletes are able to make fierce and accurate attacks. And to track and improve their performance, they wear sensors, measuring the force, time, and speed of kicks, with movement data immediately available. But this isn't the only kind of tracking athletes use. Sports biochemistry testing can use blood tests to help understand athletes' physical condition. National Taiwan Sport University professor Zhang Guihui explains that tests can look at markers like creatine kinase for muscle damage, hemoglobin for fatigue, and lactate for exercise intensity. However, recently it was reported that a coach had required students to undergo blood tests for 14 consecutive days, which has raised some eyebrows. Zhang pointed out one instance where an athlete's creatine kinase levels had spiked into the tens of thousands. Despite the athlete reporting no discomfort, they were still advised to be hospitalized for further monitoring. She says routine testing, often done via finger or earlobe pricks, is normally limited to once a week or two. However, she warns that intensive venous blood draws should be avoided, as they can affect training. As sports science continues to evolve, it's becoming an essential support system for both athletes and coaches. But ensuring proper application and ethical practices must remain a top priority. Amber Hatfield for RTI News.
The Miaoli District Agricultural Research and Extension Station, or MDARES, announced on Tuesday the successful breeding of disease-resistant bees with better honey collection. The bees have been successfully bred for 5 years, with special attention to cleanliness and honey collection. In Taiwan, domestic bee colonies are often bred by individual beekeepers, resulting in a weaker and weaker bee population as colonies inbreed. This also means producing domestic bees more susceptible to climate change and disease, which in turn lowers the quality and output of bee products. To address these problems, MDARES bred bees which scored highly in their evaluation of cleanliness and honey collection. The cleanliness indicator represented the ability of bees to actively remove unhealthy bees from the colony, resulting in a cleaner colony environment and lowering the chance of sickness spreading to other bees. For the project, male bees with high cleanliness were paired with female bees with high honey yield to produce a disease-resistant bee population with a higher overall honey yield. According to MDARES experiments, the new bee population is 30% more efficient at collecting honey, with hives up to 90% cleaner than that of the average bee farmer. After 5 years of work, the MDARES has created that population, and with a goal of spreading the new population amongst Taiwan's bee farmers. MDARES Director Liu Xiuying says that while the driving purpose of the project was to breed a more disease-resistant population, the honey yield factor was included to make the switch more attractive to farmers, who would obviously benefit from improved production. Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Amanda Stevens. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features, brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.
Did you enjoy our program? Do you have any questions or feedback on what you just heard? Email us at rti@rti.org.tw. That's rti@rti.org.tw. And we'll respond to all of your comments. We look forward to hearing from you.